It was a crisp Sunday morning when Tom Larson stood barefoot on his porch, coffee mug in hand, savoring the quiet of Pinewood Estates. The air was sharp, the sky a clear blue over the manicured lawns of this HOA-controlled neighborhood, tucked between highways and a row of towering pines. Birds sang softly, and for once, the hum of lawnmowers was absent. At 47, with graying hair and steady eyes, Tom, a retired state trooper, had traded his badge for peace after decades of highway chaos. His mug, a retirement gift, read, "Retirement plan, stay alive." He wanted backyard barbecues, football Sundays, maybe teaching his niece to fish. But peace is a fragile thing, and sometimes it shatters with a knock. At 9:17 a.m., a sharp, entitled rap hit his door. No neighborly tap, no doorbell. Tom frowned, set his mug down, and peered through the peephole. Two men stood there in dark navy uniforms, no smiles. One, with aviator sunglasses and a clipboard, looked official. The other, bulkier, chewed gum aggressively, staring into the doorbell camera like he owned the place. No police markings, no badges, just a patch. HOA Enforcement Division. Tom's gut tightened. He opened the door halfway. "Can I help you?" The clipboard man stepped forward, ignoring the boundary. "Good morning, sir. I'm Officer Paul Carter. This is Officer Hayes. We're with the Pinewood Estates Homeowners Association. There's a complaint about an improperly mounted flagpole and an unregistered vehicle in your driveway." Tom blinked. "You mean the American flag?" Carter nodded, flipping through his clipboard. "It's at a non-regulation height. And that Ford Mustang," he gestured, "lacks HOA decals. That's a violation of Section 8.3. Tom stared, torn between amusement and disbelief at their mock-serious tone. "I didn't see you at the HOA orientation." Carter's smile was thin. "We're the active enforcement unit. You probably missed that in the handbook." Hayes, the gum chewer, leaned in, voice low. "We need access to your property for inspection. Cooperate, or we escalate." Tom leaned against the doorframe. "You planning to come in?" Carter's eyes narrowed. "Under the HOA Compliance Act, Section 10.2, we have full entry rights for suspected violations." Tom's jaw clenched. There was no HOA Compliance Act. These weren't cops. They were impostors, banking on fear to bully compliance. He pictured a vulnerable neighbor, an elderly widow or a single parent, caving under their pressure. "Leave my property," he said, voice level. Carter's smirk vanished. "You refusing an HOA inspection?" Hayes spat his gum onto Tom's porch. "We can call backup." Tom raised an eyebrow. "I'd love to see that." Both men stepped closer, trying to flank him. Tom's posture shifted, subtle but cold. He pulled a leather wallet from his pocket. "You should have done a background check before playing dress up." He flipped it open, revealing a silver state trooper badge, unmistakable. Carter stepped back. Hayes blinked. "That could be fake," Hayes muttered. Tom held it steady. "So could your lives. Want to keep gambling?" The air froze. Tom didn't move, badge glinting in the sunlight. These men weren't running. They thought they could still win. Years ago, Tom had seen this before. An elderly vet, Harold Grayson, was harassed by a fake HOA task force until he sold his home cheap. They'd worn similar uniforms, issued fake fines, and dodged justice on a technicality. Tom never forgot Harold's defeated eyes. Now, history was repeating itself on his porch. Carter's hand hovered near a cheap holster, probably a stun gun. Tom's voice cut through. "Leave. Now." Carter laughed nervously. "Sir, calm down. Refusing inspection is a Code 12, grounds for escalation." Tom's eyes narrowed. "Code 12? You're making that up. I've de-escalated real standoffs with real weapons. You're amateurs." Silence. Tom stepped forward, voice low, lethal. "Walk off my property. Take your fake badges and Walmart intimidation tactics. Leave, or I arrest you myself." Carter stiffened. "You threatening law enforcement?" Tom's eyes blazed. "You're not law enforcement. You're clowns scaring old ladies with printer paper citations. Step into my house, and I'll make a citizen's arrest under Louisiana Code 142. False personation of a peace officer." Carter hesitated, fear cracking his facade. A neighbor, Mrs. Callahan, peered from her porch, squinting. Carter saw her, and his illusion shattered. "Let's go," he muttered to Hayes. They retreated, swagger fading, shoulders hunched. Tom didn't relax. He pulled out his phone, opened a voice memo app. He'd recorded everything. He called the sheriff's department. "This is retired State Trooper Larson. I've got a situation." But as Carter and Hayes reached the sidewalk, Tom's blood boiled. It wasn't just them. It was Harold, every scared homeowner, the system letting fear win. He stepped off the porch, purposeful. "Hey." They turned, annoyed. Tom held up his badge again. "State Trooper Badge 7492. You're impersonating officers and attempting unlawful entry, felonies under federal and state law. Title 18, Section 242, Deprivation of Rights under color of law. I've got audio, video, timestamps." "You're done." Carter's smirk was gone. "We're just enforcing HOA guidelines," he stammered. Tom's tone darkened. "You're not HOA. I checked. Pinewood has no enforcement division. You're criminals in costumes." Neighbors now watched through blinds, some filming. Tom dialed dispatch again, rattling off his credentials. Sirens wailed within minutes. 2 sheriff's cruisers rolled in, deputies emerging with real badges, real authority. Tom raised a hand. "These 2 impersonated officers attempted unlawful entry. I have full evidence." The deputies cuffed Carter and Hayes, who now looked small, pathetic. Deputy Ruiz, a young officer, nodded at Tom. "You were a trooper?" "Still am. Just off duty," Tom replied. Ruiz smiled. "You did our job for us." Neighbors gathered, sharing stories. Fake fines for lawn toys, threats over unregistered cars. This wasn't a one-off. It was a calculated operation. Hours later, the cruisers left, Carter and Hayes in custody. Tom handed Ruiz his phone with the recording, gold for the DA. The clipboard Carter dropped held forged citations, fake signatures, a paper trail of fraud. "This could be mail fraud if they used USPS," Tom noted. Ruiz nodded. "We'll loop in the feds." A week later, Pinewood felt different. The oppressive air lifted. Kids played freely, neighbors smiled. Tom spoke at an HOA meeting, packed with residents. "Authority doesn't come from fake badges or loud voices," he said. "It serves, protects, doesn't prey. You were manipulated, but that ends now. We're not alone anymore." Applause erupted, solid, real. But the story didn't end. A week later, a boy, maybe 12, knocked softly. His mom, leaning on a cane, stood behind him. He handed Tom a paper, a $2,100 fine for an unauthorized ramp, signed P. Carter. Tom's eyes narrowed. "They're back," the woman whispered, ashamed. Tom folded the letter. "You came to the right door." He pulled a binder, photos, timestamps, evidence. "Your ramp's legal. They're banking on fear." He made calls. Sheriff, HOA, a reporter. By noon, the DA was expanding the case. Carter wasn't alone. This was a network. That night, Tom sat on his porch, coffee cold, stars piercing the dusk. Justice wasn't a moment. It was a practice. He'd lit a fuse, and Pinewood was awake. Another knock might come, but now, Tom wasn't alone, and neither was his neighborhood. What do you think? Should Tom have let the impostors walk, or was his pursuit of justice worth the risk? Share your thoughts below, and let's debate. Where's the line between standing up and stirring trouble? Hit that like button, subscribe for more real-life drama, and drop your take in the comments. Your voice could spark the next big conversation.